4K 120.
Oh, I forgot the bottom of this is magnetic.
Oh.
All right, well.
And busted nut in water tower. My name is Jacob Little. I am a senior School of Media Arts and Design journalism major and an entrepreneurship minor.
How did you first get involved with Madison Motorsports?
So my first time I got involved was I went to the fall auto show my freshman year. I was at Bell Hall on Hillside, and the car show was literally right down the hill. So I went to go explore, and I met a bunch of people there, and I really liked the community that there was. And I just never missed a meeting after that. I went to everything. All the deck meets, all the classroom meetings, all the track events, and then ended up getting, super involved throughout it.
Awesome. And throughout all that time, what's your favorite memory been from your time in the club?
I think my favorite memory was being able to get on track with my car for the very first time with the support of the National Automotive Sports Association and Madison Motorsports in a whole. They had a setup where you could, as when you bought into dues, they could help you reimburse some track expenses, and I utilized that to take my 2012 Volkswagen Golf R up to Summit Point Motorsports Park, where a bunch of us members were able to get on track at the same time and learn kind of the basics of being able to kind of push your car to the limits. And I think being there with a bunch of friends, watching the sunset as you're out on session with a bunch of kids in Madison Motorsports all together was really such a monumental experience for me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
All right. So, would there happen to be a car, someone else's or maybe including yours, that stood out to you during your time here, and could you describe that car?
Ooh, well, of course I've always got I have a wonderful 1990 Mazda Miata that I've kind of built up through as my time at JMU. It kind of, gone through a couple livery changes, Madison Motorsports liveries, track liveries, all throughout the senses. But I think my favorite part was that, there isn't just one singular car that I'd be like, oh, this means MM. I think in Madison Motorsports, just the wide variety of cars that there is and the inclusion of, even if you don't drive a car, if you drive a car and it's just your daily driver, if you have a super luxury car, if you have a super beat up car, like there's no one's going to ever be judging you for what you drive. And it's just the full inclusion of, we're all here for one thing, and that's the love for motorsports and the love for cars. So doing all of those car things with what we have at this time as being a college student, where we may not have as much money or we may not have the access to different resources, being able to do what we can and look at what we, these cars that mean so much to us. Can't really define one car when every car is your favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess another question I'll ask is, what's something you're most proud of contributing to the club?
So I think my favorite thing that I've contributed to the club, basically how I was involved overall was I ran for secretary my freshman year. I became the secretary of Madison Motorsports my sophomore year. And then I ran for vice president my sophomore year, won it for my junior year, and then I lost my president run last year. But my favorite part of, being in leadership was that I could kind of see the behind the scenes and help, create these events and host things for people that may not have access to them. One of them being our College Cup track cross, which it had stopped running for a couple of years, and then I had, being a track fiend myself, I was like, hey, we should, get back involved in this. I think it would be a really cool experience to get people onto a track and kind of have it as like a collegiate competition. So I worked with John Felton with Get Fast Events. It was a bunch of logistics, and then Summit Point Motorsports Park wanted to partner with us for the first weekend. And then a bunch of our sponsors that we worked with. And we made it super budget friendly. It was the cheapest track cross at Summit Point that year, but it was a bunch of college students all coming together. And it was just the most fun that I think we've had. And sadly, we've lost to Virginia Tech for the past years that we've had it, but I'm just glad seeing that it comes back every year, and that it's something where everyone kind of looks forward to. It's like the one or two events that we've expanded from Summit Point, and now we're having our first College Cup at Dominion Raceway. Thank you, Peter, over at Virginia Tech with CCVT. And kind of, expanding to more colleges. We're starting to get more participants, and it sells out instantly. It's kind of just, it could be a good funding experience for us with sponsors and the admissions. But really, it's just connecting everyone over that love of motorsports.
That's amazing, man. If it comes up to you and they're interested in the club, just say a couple of things that you would do to persuade them into joining the club. Why is it a good club to join?
Yeah. So I think the great thing about Madison Motorsports is that, every background, every nationality, anyone is welcome in our club, and it's a super welcoming place for anyone to come into. I would say there's always something here for what you want to, or there's always something here that you're interested in, whether that be off-roading, whether that be getting your car on track, even if it's nothing any special, whether it be sim racing, whether it be social gatherings, whether it be learning how to work on your car, whether it be kind of getting into photography, automotive photography, video games. I guess that was sim racing too. But there's always something, here for you. And it really doesn't matter about your car, because as from being a freshman myself, having no car, I know the feeling of kind of being like, oh, I can't join the club because I don't have a car, or I don't have much time. Madison Motorsports is that community that we're not we're not forcing you to do everything. We have, we have benefits for coming to events, but they're nothing scrutiny. You have to come. It's more of just, you see that one friend that you guys may not have known that you have a connection, but then you see each other at a Madison Motorsports event, and then suddenly you're like, oh, you're into cars. Then you could talk about it. Some of my best memories have been from getting rides from other people to events. The first time I went to the racetrack, I rode with a buddy for 3.5 hours, and then he turned into one of my greatest friends. Not having a car starting off seems sad, but it gives you a chance to kind of find something that you can bring back the next year and, share to everyone. Finally seeing these people get their first cars, or getting a car that they've always been, proud of, is really fun. It kind of just that light on their face, and the whole support around it. Like, we just had one of our freshmen get a C4 Corvette, and it's just seeing him be so proud about it is just, that's kind of the love for MM. And like 4 people went to go check it out with him, and it was, everyone group rallied for checking this car out. And that's just how it is for everything. If you need an oil change, we're here for you. If you need garage time, we're here. If you have any questions, someone will always help you out. But I think the community around Madison Motorsports is just so, diverse and so caring that, even if you want people to hang out with and you really don't know much about cars, like, we're all friendly people here. Like, I would say I haven't met someone that's sour. I haven't met someone that's like, everyone here is super kind and loving. And I guess main thing of convincing you to join Madison Motorsports is, if I were to go back right now and to kind of be in, your steps, I would get involved. I would, meet these people, because I wouldn't be where I am today without the people that I've met in this club. And seeing, like, you guys come in, it's a whole new light. It's a whole new, it's a new cars come out every year. Old cars get older every year. New members come in every year, and it's just this flow. But the flow is what grows Madison Motorsports to what it is. So, if I were to convince you to join, it's just the greatest club at JMU by far.
All right. Well, I guess I'll ask you last for a closing statement. Anything you'd like to say? Thank you. Shout out to anybody you like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a shout out that one of the extra benefits of Madison Motorsports is kind of our alumni connection. The amount of alumni that we have that's involved with motorsports, that's involved with working in big companies, that have helped other students get jobs, that have helped students get on track for the first time, or just kind of been there for other people. Madison Motorsports was founded in 2004, 2006, 2003, 2001. Sorry, 2001. But that span of 25 years, there's so many people that have come and go, and that they always love meeting the new Madison Motorsports people, because we're a family. We're a collection of people that like these hunks of metal. And then shout out to National Automotive Sports Association Mid-Atlantic Region, the Cabettos, and Jack Cabetto. He was one of the first people that I met when I joined, and he got me to join Madison Motorsports, and then helped me kind of get to where I am. I have a track car, I have my Miata that I track. I work as one of the media leads for the National Automotive Sports Association, and it's something you don't take for granted, of like people that you meet, but just the importance and love that, there's always going to be that one person that sticks out to you. And I think Jack Cabetto is one of those greatest people. And then of course every alumni that has helped us members expand who we are, and leadership of course is always doing a great job. And I'm excited to see what's to come from Madison Motorsports.